Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Day early. I like to say it's because we're so committed to the game and it was the first day of training camp. So it's like, no, we're going to do this today. Actually, Soto has home from work with explosive diarrhea. So we're able to record on a Wednesday afternoon instead of a Wednesday night. Thanks to the bowels of Juan Soto.
Actually, the other direction. I've been puking my guts
Missing
out.
diarrhea? Oh.
No, not diarrhea. No, not the verbal diarrhea that you have. I just been puking all day. And I said, you know what am I doing to myself? You know, like if it was my company, maybe I would just stick around and just tough it out. But I'm like, you know what? I got sick time. I'm going home. And I took if for all you Latino or Latino adjacent people, I took a picot and like a half a 7-Up. I think I'm feeling all right.
The magic brews that every Mexican mom puts together.
Dude, you get it's basically like it's like grape salt, you know? And it's like,
what is grape salt?
I don't know what it is, dude, but it's what it is. It's grape salt, and you put it in water and it fizzes. It's almost like an Alka-Seltzer, but it's way better. Mm-hmm. And you put a little lime in it, and then you just chug it, and then all the cancer, you just burp it all out. All the cancer comes out. And then you drink a 7-Up. Yeah, you drink a 7-Up. Yeah, you drink a 7-Up and I'm tired, balls. And you drink a 7-Up and you're all right. So I'm feeling good enough for this, but I know after this I'm gonna peter out and have to go to sleep.
Playing hurt. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. So we'll get it through. But you picked the right day for your little tum-tum to act up because training camp started today. 46 days until Raiders opening day.
Nuts.
That's 46 days of preparation, practice, preseason games, meetings until the Raiders suit up and play the Patriots. So with training camp starting, biggest training camp battles you're keeping an eye on, because there are several, a lot of youth in a lot of places. And, Pete Carroll will, shouts it from the mountaintops how he wants a culture of competition and you kill what you eat and we're a team, bring each other up, but you're trying to win everything over everybody all the time. So what are you keeping your eye
on? Pretty much the entire offensive line. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just I think that's the biggest question mark going into the season. I think the other position, there's some, I wouldn't say uncertainty, but some fluidity. I think there's just straight uncertainty on the offensive line. I'm confident in the players that we have. I just don't know how they're all going to stack up. I don't know where like which peg is going to fit into the right hole type of thing. And that's the one that I'm looking at the most. I think that's the most impactful one.
I'm wondering who the X is going to be, the X wide receiver, and if there is even really going to be one in a traditional sense. Right, because there's so many good like slot receivers. Dante Thornton's obviously built perfectly to be it, but is he still too green to take that role? Trey Tucker's the more experienced guy and speedster. Just Jack Besh blow everyone away and take that position. Are any of those guys too valuable somewhere else? Like, I'm very curious. I mean, it's kind of a battle, but it's also a battle of does it exist to begin with the kind of how this personnel is structured.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple other ones too. It's not all young guys. There's the veteran battle for linebacker. Mm-hmm. We're all assuming that it's going to be, Pratt and E-Rob, but who knows? If Devin White, picks it up and is able to wrestle a spot away. I mean, Pete Carroll's not married to any of these guys as far as their position goes, so we'll have to take a look, but ultimately that's another battle too. That's pretty intriguing because I think it's pretty wide open. Presumably it's going to be Pratt and E-Rob, but I mean, you never know for sure, especially with Pete Carroll and guys these aren't guys that he went out there and recruited and all this stuff. These are just guys that he signed. So the secondary, we talked about the secondary, how it's, a little bit concerning for all of us. I'm hoping for a high ticket, big time, maybe on the cusp, maybe just over the hill a little bit too expensive for who he is now, corner, to be cut late in training camp. And we go in there and swoop him right up and move everyone down a notch. That would be great. But before that happens, I mean, it's, there's a lot of talent there, right? There's a lot of length and speed. These guys are all huge and fast and long. But, can they play football at the level that we need them to? So that's another one to take a look at.
Pete Carroll versus Father Time. Does he slow down at all?
I doubt it, dude. This guy's freaking doing the whole, what was that, Christopher Reeve at the South Park? Just freaking cracking the heads off of babies, just drinking their stem cells.
Pete Carroll's got a blood boy. The only non-billionaire who's got a 22-year-old following him around, and he's got O positive blood, and he needs it.
All that guy just drinks is kale shakes and raw meat.
You got, how old are you, Soto, now? 46?
47.
47. 47-year-old Soto needs a day off because he ate something weird. Pete Carroll's geriatric. It's still wrestling defensive tackles. A third his age.
In my defense, this is the first sick day I've taken in probably 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And I could have stayed at work. I just didn't feel like it. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Why bother? It's opening day of training camp. It should be PTO for all Raider fans to begin with. You're doing the Lord's work.
It's more annoying than anything because you just out of nowhere just start coughing and you just cough up a bunch of crap. You're like, no, what am I doing here? Then my cats are knocking shit over.
If you vomit mid-show, I think that would be a first.
I have to show it though.
Yeah, it needs to be projectile into your
my setup is nice and clean. I can't do that. I'll throw up into my hands if I have to.
Oh, do it for the love of the game. Do it for the pod.
What was that? The old Poils in It's Always Sunny. He's like, "You're gonna throw up? All right, don't flush. Don't flush it."
I've restarted watching Always Sunny from the beginning because the new season started. I only got to season 5 before I started watching. So I'm gonna try to get through it. But there's like 17
It's
seasons.
such an easy watch. They're only 20 minutes, 22 minutes, something like that.
Well, and dude, you forget how long ago it was. They were drinking. I was watching season 1. They were drinking Bacardi Silvers. Remember those? That's how long ago. They had flip phones. It was 1 by 1 the first 2 seasons. It wasn't the 16 by 9 shot. Yeah. It was shot 1 by 1 like regular TV.
Box, yeah. That's funny.
So the big news. It was on ESPN's ticker on top 3 headlines of the day. He's a big name. We'll see how much of an impact he has on the team. But 3-time Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams signing with the Raiders. We're obviously played with Pete Carroll for 4 seasons, bounced around, got hurt.
Been hurt.
Got hurt, been hurt, re-hurt, unhurt, de-hurt. About as hurt as it gets. Played with Pete Carroll for 4 seasons, I believe, and then bounced around after that. Now he's a Raider.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that was that prototype of that time, of that the newer box safety. Usually box safeties were guys that really couldn't cover that well, and you kind of hid that by putting him in the box a lot. But no, he was an absolute stud with the Jets in his first couple years with the Seahawks, so much so that they paid him just an obscene amount of money to play football, and he just got hurt.
Well, the Seahawks traded 2 first-rounders for him, played 1 season, then made him the highest-paid safety ever at the time. So
he was the highest-paid safety for a while. It wasn't like somebody just came and took it over right away. He was the dude for quite some time, and he was that good. He was that good. He was just as good as any linebacker in run coverage, and he was really good in pass protection. Maybe not man-to-man, but manning a zone or the deep half. He was a big hitter, and he just got hurt, man.
Crazy blitzer. He had 9.5 sacks that big year.
He was a big time. Awesome. That's why I'm saying he was that one of those hybrid, even on playing, outside linebacker type and rusher type guy, and he can do it all. So it could be a Devin White situation where he was hurt for so long and people kind of thought he just didn't have it anymore, but he just needed to get healthy. It's almost like a team that's just kind of trying to hang on. It's like, look, you got to rip the Band-Aid and just suck and then get better. And that's kind of what maybe happens with Jamal Adams too, along with Devin White, is they just had to rip the Band-Aid and just have that one, because last year was pretty much a lost year. He only played a handful of games, and he was, with two different teams and just didn't really play that much.
The Lions were so depleted that they were like, all right, we got to
get somebody in here.
15 guys on IR.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, hopefully he's healthier now and he's ready to go. Because if we get 75% of Jamal Adams in a backup type depth role, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, contract details haven't come out. It can't be more than league minimum. It's nothing. Right?
It'll be maybe a couple mil. It's a year, maybe two, because of the relationship, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I could see league minimum with some incentives, right? That's probably all. So it's zero risk, right? There's one thing though that I love about this sign. What have we been preaching about this super, super young team? It's let's at least have one veteran in each room, right? Like let's just, I get it. We're going younger, smart. I still think with the 6-month cap space in the NFL, we're really not trying to spend to win now. I think it's more of the year 2 of this regime. I think we're going to go all in, but I want a veteran presence in each room, right? It's like, I don't mind. Like, we desperately need some good wide receivers. I don't mind letting the rookies get all the reps, right? We got Jacoby Myers. We got a super young running back room. We have Raheem Mostert. We have a veteran there. We have a ton of veterans on D-line, ton of veterans on O-line. And then we got linebacker. It was all young guys. We got Pratt, which was perfect. So the one room that had just nothing but kind of young dudes was DBs. No more, right? We got Jamal Adams, who's on the right side of 30, but he is 29, been in the league 7 seasons, something like that. And so whether he's great or not, obviously we want him to be great, but what I wanted was at least a veteran in every room. And now we do. He completed that set for pennies on the dollar. That alone is why I love that signing before we even get to what he can contribute on the field. He's a proven veteran. He's called the Prez, right? His nickname's the President because he helps run defenses, good locker room guy, knows Pete Carroll. That's what we've been asking for all offseason, and they did it. Every room that didn't have a veteran now has one, and a cheap one, to just kind of be that veteran. If they play great, awesome. Mwah, wonderful. If they don't, then they're a locker room guy for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I would have maybe preferred it be a corner, but whatever. I'm not going to be. There's still a chance of that. If you look at the bottom end of the prospective corners, it's not anyone that's going to be a make or break for us. And I think it could still happen. I think a lot of the cap room that we're saving right now is for situations like that. If someone were to become available, we can pounce. Also, to do some extensions, hopefully we get some extensions done soon on the offensive line and other spots. But for right now, I think that it's a great addition because, again, I don't really think that Jamal Adams is under any illusions that he's going to be an all-pro again. I mean, who knows? But I think he just wants to go to a location where he feels that he's understood as far as what his strengths are and what he can do, a place that he feels comfortable, where he knows what's expected of him, and he knows that he's going to be asked to do things that he can do well. He's in a position now where, he's moving pretty good.
I mean, he posted this, was like, best shape of my life. I'm like, pretty short motions. I mean, overly. Looks good for 0.75 seconds, and then the drill's over. But it doesn't look like there's bad hampered injuries, right? Like there's no.
I mean, that was the thing, though, is he had those lower leg injuries, and I think he had a shoulder injury too. The thing is I want to see this because this is what was troubling him. His change of direction, stuff like that. His balance, he'd get off balance, and he was just hurt or something. But he looks really good. The long speed he's going to have, he's always kept that. But the change of direction, stuff like that, breaking on the ball, all that stuff is what he's showing here, and it looks really good. But yeah, he knows that Pete Carroll knows what Jamal Adams can do, and what he can still do, even if he's hampered.
Yeah,
he knows that he can do a few things. Let's see this.
Muay Thai knees,
dude. He would knock somebody right out with that.
I think look, he might not even make the team, right? Like he's bounced around so much, right? So it's like the expectations for him, like he could be a full-time starter, game changer for us, or not even make the team, right? But again, paying so little for him, locker room experience. Like you said, Pete Carroll kind of had him be his Swiss Army knife. They just kind of put him wherever he was needed on his defense. And so I know why he wanted to come here, right? Like obviously playing under Pete Carroll, he was happy with, had his best year ever under Pete Carroll. So I know why he was motivated to come here. And again, he's still on the right side of 30. So if it is as simple as he just could not get healthy and he's healthy now, this is an amazing steal. He'll probably be a starter. This will be great for us. If it's more than that, we'll find out.
Well, one thing too, kind of marrying two different issues. If you want to do, because I mean, they both like doing it in different ways, but Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham both like employing 3 safeties. You can use one of the other 2 safeties as more of a coverage guy because they both covered the nickel. Polomau and Chin have both covered nickels in the past. You can do that and have Jamal Adams on the field as well, who is more of a hybrid linebacker safety type guy. So, I mean, you do have a lot of flexibility out there. So it really
he could be like a nickel linebacker too, right? He could just line up as one of the 2 linebackers, something like that. Like he's that diverse.
You can have a lot of that flexibility and a lot of variation in what you can do. It just makes it a lot more confusing for the opposing offenses when you have a lot of guys like that. So he's in that mold. He's like 6'1", 220, I think, 215 around there. Big hitter, long arms. You know, he's in the mold. He's in the mold, you know. So I don't know if he's quite as fast as some of the other guys, but ultimately he can play multiple positions, and he can do what he does well. He does really well.
So he was obviously the biggest name free agency move that happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. But the Raiders made several moves. They signed Jamal Adams, wide receiver Philip Dorsett, guard Antonio Maffei, wide receiver Seth Williams, and safety JT Woods. They waived cornerback Melo Dotson, wide receiver Zakir Franklin, wide receiver Keyshawn Smith, and linebacker Jalen Walker. Other than obviously Adams, which pickup or waive surprised you or you're most happy about?
Nothing surprised me. I mean, the names are the names, but you get guys that are more veteran type guys coming in that know, you know, that are a little more on the ball. All the guys that we released were UDFAs, I believe. Melo Dotson was kind of a guy that was looked at as someone who may be able to even make the team. I think he's out of Kansas, a DB. It's an area that we were looking at, but of need. He just probably didn't show enough, I guess. And Zaire Franklin, I think he's out of Illinois, maybe. I think Illinois. Wide receiver. He's a guy that made a little bit of noise. I think he was. He went to like Florida State or something like that, and he was pretty good there. Then he bounced around a little bit in college, but he was a name that was looked tight as along with Walker was a guy that maybe was tight at maybe be able to make the team. But at linebacker, we just signed too many guys that are too good.
It's always nice when you're picking up kind of just like scrap heap dudes when they're from a division rival. So taking a flyer on Philip Dorsett, fine. Hey, worst case scenario, we get a little insight on what makes the Chargers tick. Always like doing that. And I'm with you on Jalen Walker. He ran like a 4.40 for a linebacker. I was like, oh, he could be a good coverage. Like that's kind of what we're needing is a fast coverage linebacker. Maybe could he fill that role? But yeah, I'm kind of with you. Other than that, you know, we're gonna be a lot more of these kind of bubble guys as you know go from the 90 to the 53. But yeah, only Jalen Walker's the one where I was like, I don't know if rooting for him was the right word, but I was like, ooh, if he pans out, that's what we need.
He was intriguing. Ultimately, it's like you just don't fall into that trap where just because they're rookies means that they're better than other guys. Like, no, there's other guys out there, and this coaching staff knows that, you know what, this guy's, you know, he's cheaper, he's young, but he's not as good as this veteran guy that's been bouncing around. We should just get that guy.
And I'm obviously rooting for Maffei. He's a Bruin. So Pete Carroll, you sent this message to me and Rory, and I understand why you're You're chubbing up hearing this answer. Pete Carroll had his presser, and he said, "We are going to win a bunch of games. I can't even imagine anything else. I've been winning 10 games a year for 20 years or something. I mean, what are my expectations? We're going to win a bunch, and I don't care who hears that. It ain't about what anybody hears. It's about what we do. And so that's why expectations are really high. The standards need to be so that the expectations can be met. See what happens." How'd you send that to us?
It's a little bit different Pete. This is the Pete Carroll that I know from SC. It's a little bit different than like what people heard in OTAs and mini camp is like, oh, we're just out there and we're moving fast and we're getting to know each other and we're just out there, blah blah blah. He's like real like rah type of guy. This is like, okay, I'm still that, but expectations are through the roof. I expect this is where like the test is coming and the cool teacher's like, all right, we got to buckle down here. Mm-hmm. And this is where you kind of harvest all like you kind of take out of the bank all the little coins in the piggy bank that Pete Carroll put of good fortune. He put in to every single person in the entire staff, players, assistants, coaches, all that stuff, because he built all that goodwill with these guys, getting to know him, being that guy, being consistent. Okay, now I'm going to have to pull away from that. I'm going to pull out of that savings now because I need to push you guys, because my expectation for what I want to do is really high for himself. And if I bring it, everyone else has to bring it too. And this is him just pretty much saying, hey, it's going to be hard. I'm going to ask a lot of these guys. And we're going to get to it. His expectations are greatness. I want them to be great. Whatever great is for that individual person, I want that. Nothing less. I want great, because he expects it from himself, from all the coaches. He wants that from everybody in the organization. Greatness. That's it. Not you try your best. No. Great. That's what I want. And this is the time that he needs to start pulling that, because these guys need to understand that greatness needs to happen every single day.
Well, it's echoed what we've heard from the rest of the front office, right? When Mark Davis, was it 2 months ago, whenever, and normally when it's just like, oh, I love this guy. Oh, we're going to be so awesome. He's like, yeah, I think he's going to be good. We'll find out. What about this guy? Well, we have high expectations. We'll have to wait and see, right? Where it's like the standard is different now. And I think that big part of that's Tom Brady, and it's bled into Mark Davis. It's bled into Pete Carroll a little bit.
This is Pete Carroll, dude. This is who he is.
Well, Pete Carroll's always been like the super high basement guy, right? So like when he says like I've been getting 10 wins, for 20 years, it's like, yeah, so he was 7-9 his first 2 years in Seattle. Then 8 of the next 9 seasons it was double-digit wins, right? 2 Super Bowl appearances. Like the basement, who the way I looked at Pete Carroll is like where the ceiling is pretty much, but you definitely know where the basement is. Like he's raised the Raiders immediately up from out of mediocrity. How high, we'll wait and see. But out of like, they're now something to be contended with. Now they're no longer a punchline like we've been the majority of our seasons the last 20 years, right? Like that was always Pete Carroll to me. Like, yeah, he could win you a Super Bowl, sure, but you're not going 3-14. You're not drafting 3rd overall, right? Like you are going to always contend. And then I think bringing that in with the Tom Brady, like if we don't have a 6 Super Bowl dynasty in the next 10 years for failures mentality, I think is a nice combination.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a shock to a lot of players, especially a lot of players who have played on the Raiders who don't have that inner drive themselves. A lot of them, maybe a lot of the, bubble guys who aren't consistent contributors, who were, been around for a few years and kind of like humming and hawing type of thing. And like, no, it's not going to work anymore. It's the margins are so slim in the NFL. Like, like in the UFC, the margin, even a guy that goes in there and goes 1-3 in the UFC, that guy's still a really good fighter. The margins are just so slim for error. Same thing in the NFL. These guys are all these guys, every single one of them are supreme alpha male athletes. All of them. Well, except
Alex Leatherwood. Other than him,
he's still really athletic. He's still huge and athlete, can move. He's just his technique was not
alpha. I love the like. We're going to win a bunch. I don't care who hears that. It reminds me like Elf. I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it, right? A little bit of that. But it's also the like he knows that's going to be. He's been doing this a long time. He knows that's headline material, right? He knows it's like, oh, Pete Carroll says they're going to win 10 games, huh? Oh, wow, they're, win a bunch of games. It's like, all right, and that's why like the fighters that talk shit. Again, we use the UFC example. The fighters that talk shit always get the most attention because you raise the stakes. If Pete Carroll would have said, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to do our best, we're going to strive for excellence, we'll see what happens. But he's like, no, we're going to win a bunch of games. Like I've won 10 games a year for the last 2 decades. It's like the fighters that say like, I'm going to knock out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. And when you do it, you're Conor McGregor. If you say you're going to do it and not, then you're a punchline. But you've raised the stakes. You have chosen to say, this is where we're going. Not hyperbole, not just kind of, oh, this is what I think, or here's a couple softballs. It's, this is what we're doing with a number. And now you set a standard. And you've raised the stakes to here, and you are going to be held responsible for your words. You're either going to be admonished and made a punchline because you didn't do it, or you're going to be like, dude, 4 months ago, Pete Carroll said there's a double-digit win team, and now we're 6-2 or whatever, right? Like that's what he's doing. Is he is going to be held responsible for his words, and he did so on purpose.
Yeah, it's bulletin board material. That's why I never really bought into that, because you still have to play. Yeah, you can touch all the trash on. I mean, because how many years did the Chiefs do that to us? They just gave us bulletin board material, and they still beat us. So it wasn't like, we could take that onto the field. It just he's just matter of factly stating something that is pretty obvious to him. We're going to go out there and we're going to win, because that's what I do. I go out there and win games. And it's kind of, the whole thing that I talked about, was it last week or the week before? Even with all the terrible positions that we had on this team, head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback, running back, offensive line, the health of our defense, even with all that, we were within 1 score in 7 of our losses going into the fourth quarter. So a lot of winnable games that can be lost with bad, coaching decisions or poor play by, players that are normally backup style players that are in the game. So we have some improvements in those areas now, and we're not going to have to see those same mistakes, I don't believe.
And a manageable schedule, man. I mean, obviously the AFC West might be the toughest division in football. I mean, 3 playoff teams and, AFC champions, and Raiders are the most improved team in football. And the other, dude, Chargers and Broncos, like Hall of Fame-ish level coaches in their second year, only getting better. Raiders, most improved team in football. And then the only team that's not like obviously better has been to 3 Super Bowls, right? Like it's a tough fucking division. But the rest of the schedule, man, we've been over it a bunch of times. It's manageable.
Yeah.
It's very manageable. Like there's like 2 those are gonna be really tough. Like at
Eagles,
Philadelphia in December, right? Like there'll be some there, but the rest of them, man, it's like we're really getting worried about getting blown out by the Cardinals, right? Like it's win some games this year. We'll see.
Can definitely win some.
And if you guys are wondering why we talk about Christian Wilkins every damn episode, it's because he's that important to this defense, right? He is the turnkey solution to get the most out of this defense. If Christian Wilkins is healthy and playing defensive tackle next to Maxx Crosby, you can't double and triple team Max every play, which frees up Max to be awesome. And it makes that left side of the D-line such a brute that the other side of the D-line gets to eat. And if the entire D-line is doing well, it's giving our young linebackers and DBs plenty of wiggle room. And if the defense is playing better, which on paper is far worse than our offense, then the offense gets more opportunities to perform and get some turnovers and get the ball. And it's just like it's a domino effect, right? Like Christian Wilkins could be a domino effect for this team. So when we found out he was on the physically unable to play list, we said not overly surprising Soto, but still kind of disappointing at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was almost bordering on expected. unfortunately. But he's off the boot now. He's not in the boot anymore. So, I mean, we'll see. Maybe, they know a lot more than we do. Of course, they're in the building, but it's just it's hard to playing the patience game. The waiting game. It's tough.
So it's like we're getting all our updates from like his teammates, just putting him on social media. Christian Wilkins doing Backstreet Boys in the weight room. I gave his voice like an 8 out of 10. Dance moves a 4 out of 10.
I mean, coming off an injury.
Crocs, no boot. That's the biggest takeaway, right?
Yeah,
other than his dance moves. Nice to see they're working hard in the weight room. I wonder if this is a Deuce Gruden jam he's putting on.
Yeah, he's messing with Deuce right now. Imagine how many people mess with Deuce until Deuce starts throwing around some steel. You're like, oh, never mind.
Or Deuce brings in the youngest Gruden boy, who's an MMA fighter.
Yeah, but he's like 135 pounds, dude. These guys will crush that dude.
Is he a bantamweight?
I don't think he's that big, dude.
I mean, he's not as big as these guys, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, there's you're an MMA fighter, and that'll get you a long way. But these are also huge, in shape, alpha, athlete out of the athletes type guys.
You know who can't fight? Football players. They're pretty terrible fighters. Not as bad as basketball players, but they're pretty awful.
It's just the size and strength of it. I don't know, man.
Every football player that's gone to the UFC has like not only been like bad, but like embarrassingly bad.
They're also fighting guys their size. We're talking about a 135-pound guy fighting 280, 300-pound guys that are just huge. He's
not 135. How big is?
Let's take a peek.
Remember his name? Deuce's little brother.
Searching.
John Gruden's son, MMA fighter. Jason.
Michael. Was it Jason?
Jason.
Are you sure? John Gruden has two sons, Michael and Deuce.
This one says Deuce and Jason.
Are you Jason Googling or Yahooing?
Another. Oh, okay. Never mind.
2019. There's an article on it. I don't know what weight class he's in.
Great.
These are the random things you give a shit about on this show. Muay Thai. He fought Muay Thai. My God. Because Deuce is short but thick. Gruden's not big by football standards, but he was never a bantamweight.
If he's a Muay Thai fighter, he's not short and big. They don't make him like that, really. He's going to be thinner.
I'm a Muay Thai fighter. I'm short and big. You're not going to say you're not a Muay Thai fighter, RJ? I'm wearing my Muay Thai shirt.
You've trained Muay Thai.
I train. I do Muay Thai. I am not the Muay Thai.
you're Muay tired right now. Jason Gruden. He's 5'6", 150 in football, so he's lost weight since then. And that was his
high school football.
In
high school football, he was 150.
5'6".
I was 150 in high school. I'm 190 now. He's definitely.
Yeah, you're also 40 years old. He's not 40 yet. You're also not 5'6".
I know, I'm huge. I would love to fight Jason Gruden. Just like spar with him, see what he's got.
You fight so dirty, dude. You freaking use those Fairtex gloves for so long that had zero padding in them.
That was just out of cheapness. I kept hurting my hands.
Terrible gloves, dude.
Remember the even my MMA gloves were shitty like that. The last punch of the last practice of my last fight's training camp, the last one I threw, it just exploded. It was just worn down so much, all the padding came out. I'm like, yeah, that's a sign. I'm ready to go. I punched the shit on my gloves. Then I got my ass kicked. So speaking of fighting,
to be honest, that guy was like 200 pounds. He fought.
He missed weight, fucker.
By a lot, dude. And then he was even bigger when he came into the cage. I was like, this fucking guy.
I was stoked because you get 10% of their purse when they miss weight. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you also got 100% of those elbows too.
Well, speaking of fighting, you know for a fact that Maxx Crosby's a big fan. Take a listen.
Bro, like, I have 100% fight rate in joint practices.
Yeah, you do.
100% fight rate in joint practices.
100%. And I'm looking forward to continue that trend because
I'm so happy you just said that.
I just know it's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna try to cause some issue, call whatever. I just know eventually it's gonna happen, and I'm here for it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Joint practice is staple, bro. You need to. It's just a part of the NFL culture. Like, when that week comes, like, the videos start leaking, you start seeing all the shit, just the competition. That's when you know you're getting closer and closer. The preseason's one thing, but like, we're not really, you know what I mean? I don't really get to play in the preseason. So it's like, those joint practices are game days in camp, and it's lit, and it's a lot of bragging rights. You know what I mean? It's the purest form. You put the ball down and fucking get into work and go on to war. You start with one-on-ones, and you do inside drill, and then you go to team, and it's just fireworks from start to finish. So I freaking love joint practices, and then I'm looking forward to it, bro.
It's kind of probably cool to show off in front of the other team. Like, when you're picking them up, get to look at Shanahan or get to look over at whoever it is you're into. So
you want to pop your shit for sure. Like, you're like, yeah, I'm coming. Like,
for sure.
And we're not playing y'all.
I love how Max is trying to make it like the other guy's instigating when it's clearly him.
It is dope. Like,
yeah, it's a he problem.
Just in the league.
Yeah, dude, it's like the guy who always like is in fight trouble, but it's always the other guy that instigated it. It's like, bro, you're getting 3 bar fights a weekend, and you're telling me every single time it's the other guy's fault. Like, that's why you had to fight him. Okay.
Yeah,
nothing shows more fiery ginger Max than this line right here. It's like, what are you looking forward to the most? Oh, fighting in joint practices, not winning Super Bowls, getting better, getting with my teammates. He's like, dude, there's finally a place because I don't play in preseason. You don't want to fight in a regular season game because there's penalties. You don't want to really fight your own teammates, right? You're not going to hurt each other. But joint practices, gloves
they got
come
2
on.
of them lined up, dude. They got 2 rounds of that lined up.
This dude is a minority shareholder in bare knuckle fighting championships. You know he's ready for this shit.
He's ready to rock. It's like, if you're going to be a Maxx Crosby and you're just going to be full bore every single rep, every single snap, every single game, every single practice, you have to have that switch in you where you're willing to, like, you're looking forward to fighting. You have to. There's no way. You can't keep that level of intensity throughout every single, because that's what everyone says about Max. He's like that every day, every practice. He doesn't let up. He doesn't quit from the first rep to the last rep. He's stealing reps from younger guys. He's just like dipping in there and like stealing their reps and shit. So you got to be able to turn that on, and there's no dimmer on that switch. You hit it and that's it. It's on.
If fighting paid as much as football, he would have 1,000% chose MMA over football. He's just wired that way. And he's talking about
a lot of guys like to hit people, but they don't like getting hit.
I don't think he gives a shit. So like he brings up something that MMA fighters talk about. And so like my very first fight, Junior Gaze, right? And you know this, like when you train combat sports, like you have your training partners and like you'll go hard to the body and you'll spar hard, but I'm not throwing my right hand as hard as I can on my teammate in practice. Not doing it. I'm not going for a heel hook and ripping it as hard as I can on a training partner in practice. These are your training partners and usually a really good friend. Like you don't want to hurt them because you don't want them to hurt you, blah, 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 blah. I remember Junior Gazi told me, he's like, for my first fight, he's like, hey, now you get to throw those elbows as hard as you want. Now you get to punch and kick and crank every sub as hard as you want. And that's Maxx Crosby. It's like the idea, like he's like, he has to, you have to pull back a little bit in practice. You can't touch the quarterback. You don't want to hurt your teammate. Like you'll fuck them up. You'll make them learn. You'll embarrass them, but you're not going to, throw a fucking neck punch on Kolton Miller. He's your teammate. But against Trent Williams, you will. Against anyone on that 49ers line, you can fuck him up. And so this is him being me before my first fight, being like, oh, I get to do whatever.
That gleam in your eye.
Yeah.
I remember I had Russ in a Kimura, and I stepped over his head, and I'm like, all right, dude, he's not going to tap. Russ doesn't tap.
Never.
So I just looked at him, and I'm like, all right, Russ, try to get out. I'm going to hold it. You just try to get out. If in like 30 seconds you can't get out, I'm just going to let it go. We just had that agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met anyone like that, dude. No matter what you put on him, he didn't tap. No matter
little
what.
Little guy, too. He's like 50 years old.
He was a
tiny little dude.
Spunky Hawaiian dude.
And he loved jiu-jitsu, man.
God, he freaking loved it, dude. And I got him in that, and I stepped over his head, and I was like, oh, this is going to be bad if I crank on it. So I put his hand kind of like by his armpit, And I'm like, all right, dude, I'm not going to crank this. And he's like spinning. He's trying to spin out of it, And I'm like turning with him. I'm like, Russ, I'm not going to crank it, okay? I'm just going to hold it here and then see if you can get out. And he couldn't, so I just let it go. I'm like, all right, let's reset.
We're going to do some What Windbags?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Fedoro 510. To not mention Richard Pryor as the comedian GOAT is out of control. So our question of the day last week was, who's your favorite comedian of all time? And Richard Pryor was brought up several times. George Carlin was brought up several times. Robin Williams was kind of surprising because I think he's known more as like movies than like stand up, but obviously a comedian.
Robin Williams is more of a performer than a comic because he got a lot of laughs on other people's stuff.
Mm-hmm. Russell Peters, Chris Tucker, Cat Williams, Louis C.K. We mentioned Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr.
I mentioned Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm. His time was short, but Carlos Mencia was hilarious at his peak. Yeah, you know why his time was short? Because he got called out by Joe Rogan for stealing everyone's jokes.
He was the new Robin Williams. He was getting laughs on other people's stuff. Two of the more, and I'm not speaking out of turn here. This is like you can common knowledge stuff. Those are two of the most notorious joke thieves of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to speak bad about them. It's the stuff that you can just look up. Even if you don't know, you can still speak on it because it's everywhere.
Amy Schumer. There's whole YouTube videos of her stealing jokes.
Her show, dude. Her show was just other comics sets in its sketch form.
Remember her movie Trainwreck was so funny, but she was the one that wasn't funny in it. Like
everyone else was hilarious.
John Cena, that was one I finally because I'm not a pro wrestling guy. I don't follow pro wrestling, but when John Cena was so funny, I'm like, okay, I'm a John Cena guy. He was so fucking funny. Dave Attell only had like 2 scenes, but he stole like the whole movie.
Scenes. John
he was great.
Was funny.
And I remember Amy Schumer, like the only joke where I really like laughed out loud was when at the very beginning she goes to her sister's house. And the sister's her brother-in-law.
How you dress him? You dress him so no one else talks to him. How you
tries to fuck him, right?
Yeah.
So you dress your husband so no one else to fuck him. She stole that.
We didn't talk about that before. We didn't talk about that line ahead of time. That was the line. That was the line.
That was so fun. It was like, that's great. Good on you, Amy. Found out later she stole that from a female comedian who did it in a stand-up like 10 years earlier. You're like, oh, of course. The one laugh out loud moment that we both agreed on wasn't her material.
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, those people don't last.
9 Spartan 40 on DJ Glaze. He actually asked us a question to fulfill, not just making fun of us or making a statement. Very weird getting a question. On DJ Glaze, can you talk about Kolton Miller's ranking after his rookie year? Curious to know, since Miller didn't impress his rookie year, also would be nice to know how Glaze ranked 1H versus 2H of this season.
Well, Kolton Miller was injured and he played left tackle his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't given the help that DJ Glaze was given at right tackle with tight ends and things like that. He was put on an island from the very beginning, and he didn't do great. He didn't do well as well as he would do later in his career, but he played a much more difficult position, and he also was not given the assistance schematically. And again, we're not saying that DJ Glaze is a bad player. We're saying that he hasn't locked up his position because you don't have a crystal ball and you don't say, "Oh, well, this guy's didn't play as good last season, but he's going to be way better. Just watch." You're looking at what's going to help you win right now. Because as a coach, you don't have a guaranteed job next year. So you got to get the guys who are going to be playing the best right now on the field. And I think what we were both saying is there's no set in stone right tackle right now, and his job can be won out by someone else if they come in and play better.
And I get what you're doing here, nine Spartan 40, and you're looking like optimistically, right? Like we've had a rookie tackle that didn't play all that great and turned out to be great for us, right? Can DJ Glaze be that same guy? Maybe. But to your point, right? Kolton was hurt. Every year he's not been hurt. He's been like
pretty good,
borderline Pro Bowl, like not like almost like a really good left tackle, right? When the years he's not hurt, he's always good. He also has better attributes than DJ Glaze. Moves better, much bigger, moves better, just better athlete in general. That's why it's a first rounder versus a third rounder, right? So like those metrics are there as well.
Better traits.
So that's the difference, right? Is like DJ had some things going for him that Kolton didn't. Kolton has some traits and metrics that DJ doesn't. But still, he's probably going to be the starter. He's
probably, yeah,
for sure going to have an opportunity to prove that he belongs to be the starter. So that's another thing to follow in training camp, right? Like both guard positions in right tackle are more. I think we kind of know who's going to go there, but by no means is that at all set in stone outside of left tackle and center.
Yeah, I mean, there was, just to kind of sum it up, there was no talk of Kolton Miller being kicked inside because of his movement skills.
Mm.
That was a big narrative for DJ Glaze coming out because his lateral movement wasn't great, and he was looked at as more of an interior offensive lineman in the NFL. That was never the issue or the case with Kolton Miller.
I also think Kolton Miller's that rookie year, he's really struggled to shed in the eyes of a lot of people because it was so bad. I think if he would have like not been hurt and played like how he played 2 or 3 seasons ago, or even like a healthy rookie, I think the league and how he's viewed would change. Like I remember my buddy that I work with at UFC, he's a Charger fan, but he went to UCLA. And so I was hyping up our line, I don't know, Kolton's like 3rd season or whatever it was. And he's like, "Oh, I thought Kolton Miller was a dud. I thought he completely fell apart." He's like, "No, he had a below average rookie year hurt. And now he's been our best lineman for the last 4 seasons." But in Lappy's mind, he's like, "No, he was terrible as a rookie." And unless you're following a team that closely, like me with Geno Smith, like it took me forever to like not look at Geno Smith as a shitty Jets quarterback, even though he played 3 good years with Seattle. It's not my team. It's not even my division. So I'm not using brain power to like update how I think Geno Smith is every single season. So I had to like shed that off of my brain. Same thing with Kolton Miller in a lot of people's eyes. Bad rookie year. It's like, well, I've established who he is, and I have no reason to change that. Top 3 entertainment. RJ should have said Raiders to Will Compton. I don't like to when I'm at work do that, but I always do wear this hat. This is my work hat. You got to wear black on black on black when you work in TV. And so I pointed to this, and Will Compton was just like, "Oh, okay," and pointing to his own hat, which was just something else. How do you, whenever you bump into a Raiders player, Soto, do you fanboy, ask for a photo, play it cool, treat him like a normal person?
I just treat him like a normal person. I've had a lot of access to athletes like you do, so I don't normally. I mean, when I was younger, but I mean, my cousin played baseball with like Mark McGuire and Randy Johnson. I think was still there when he was a freshman. They were all, I think, both juniors, I think, or seniors. So even when I was, I was like maybe 8 or 9, because he's 10 years older than me. So I used to go watch his games and stuff, and I would just sit. Brett Barbery, I think, was another baseball player that played in the major leagues that he played with. Mm-hmm. So I've been around a lot of guys, the football, program and stuff too. I shook Willie McGinnis' hand. I was like 14, and he's like, his hand went all the way up my forearm. I was like, "Oh God, this guy's the biggest guy I've ever seen in my life." Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't. fanboy out. I'll say, hey, what's up? You know, I won't ask for autographs. I don't need them. Not even pictures, really. I'll just say hi. Appreciate
I'm not
you.
I'm not a selfie guy either. I don't do
it.
Selfies.
I'll just say hi. Hey, I really, if it's some artist of any kind, like a singer or a actor or whatever. Hey, I really appreciate your work.
You know who I really fanboy out on? OnlyFans models that I see in the wild. So last
in the wild. Oh, you're in Vegas.
So last week, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Don't Long tell Beach me Cindy Tran.
No, Long Beach Airport going to Vegas, and I'm sitting at the terminal. The flight's like 20 minutes late.
I'm gonna kill you.
5 seats to my left, me, empty seat, old couple, her. An OnlyFans model that I literally jerked off to that morning.
Oh, God.
Was sitting at the same terminal, 5 seats away from me, 2 hours later.
Who was it?
God, what's her name? Divine.
Damn it, RJ.
I don't have to look it up. Son of a bitch. She's
all right. We're going to edit this out, and it's come right to the answer.
And she's under like 500,000 Instagram followers. So basically, it feels like she's my girlfriend. Like we lost each other's virginity to each other. When you're that, we have that small of Desiree Desire.
Desiree Desire.
This one. Only 260,000 followers. So I feel like, we've lost each other, given each other's V cards to each other.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
How'd she look?
Dude, no makeup, yoga pants, hoodie with the zipper, and then the tank top under, ponytail, no makeup, still a 10 out of 10. She's young enough for like the vigors of like the OnlyFans lifestyle hasn't like tarnished her too bad.
I've seen like what's her name? Chrissy Taylor. She's an OnlyFans girl. Like almost like a fitness OnlyFans girl. I saw her like out in the wild, and a lot shorter than I had imagined, but that dumper was.
Oh, Desiree isn't fitness only. She does the OnlyFans correctly.
Look at Google Chrissy Taylor.
Chrissy Taylor.
No, with the K. No, not her.
Like, wow, you're into power, huh? This one?
Chrissy Taylor? No. That's not. No. Different. Scroll down to X. Is that her there? Yeah, that's her.
I've seen a dumper. Yeah, that's Soto's.
Oof.
God. What do you think she squats?
It didn't look fake because those thighs were really thick, dude. I guess she's a former soccer player. She said, oh, yeah, I play soccer and volleyball. I didn't like volleyball. I like to be out in the grass. I like to be out in nature. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah.
My ass to be out in the wild.
Dude, that thing is
got some zip
quarters off that thing. I did fanboy a little bit. I was like,
oh, I couldn't. I was trying to take like creeper photos, like pretending I'm taking a selfie.
Better than that.
It's trying to do it all. Oh, fanboyed out like no one else is
better than that, dude.
No clue. I am not. I found out I was not. I thought I was.
Turns out I'm really not.
Desiree, when Desiree is running around 5 seats over, all goes out the window. All right, let's get you out of here so you can drink your squirt or whatever it is you need to, so you don't puke. You made it through the whole show without puking. Proud of you. Playing hurt.
I coughed a couple times. It was a little dicey for a second.
Yep. Being strong. Appreciate it. Sure, the Windbags will appreciate it. You playing hurt. Again, so training camp underway, boys. Actual tangible football is being played on grass for us. This is where it starts getting interesting. 46 days away from Raiders opening day. Until then, knock on wood if you're with me. Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.